Hello, everyone. Very good morning and good evening. Welcome to our SAP S4 HANA training sessions. So now we would be starting and we would be at the session number 1 today for SAP S4 HANA SDMMPP, and there might be also student in QM, FICO. Okay, so what we do and how we do in the Sastrageek, that we do some parallel session first. So at least between 4 to 6 sessions we do as a combined sessions at the start, and then later on also there would be some combined sessions. This practice we have started almost from 2 years, where basically there's a lot of content is there, a lot of basic content is there, which need to be understood by all of the consultants, right? So that's part we want to make sure that we build a core, right? We build a core, we build a platform where all of us, we would be able to learn it together. Okay, so that's where we'll be building it. We'll be building a platform and a core in initial session so that everybody comes onto the same understanding here. I know the people have joined from the different areas. Okay, I would be having in these participations, I would be having a people who doesn't know anything about SAP. I would be having a people who are already SAP consultant. First thing we need to understand that why SAP is required. What is SAP and why SAP is required? Before you understand what is SAP, you need to understand what is ERP. Okay. SAP is a software of ERP, which is called Enterprise Resource Planning. I will not give a lot of depth on to the very core basics. A lot of things you can also Google it, and you might be already knowing it. But it's important to put a base. So SAP is a software of ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, okay, which is the most used and most famous software. If you are not knowing, world's around 80% revenue, world's 80% revenue touch through the SAP softwares. Okay, SAP has more than 100 products. Not more than 100, it would be having, I think, more than 200 products SAP is having. SAP has acquired so many companies in last 20 years because it become a giant in the ERP, and then it acquired a lot of companies. A lot of things has been integrated with their core products. A lot of products is available on the cloud and the periphery products, providing some advanced and specific business functionality. So SAP is a company which has a lot of products related to the ERP. Their biggest and the core product right now is SAP S/4HANA. We call it as a core product, which remains in the center of your business, right? And then all the things, all the products get connected or roam around of the central product, which is called SAP S/4HANA. Earlier, they were having ECC, and now they have shifted to SAP S/4HANA. Now, the first question comes, ki, bhaiya, why companies or why businesses use ERP system? What is the use? Why a company should go ahead and implement a software like SAP or any other competitor software? What is the need? That's the question to you. Quick. Okay, now you need to understand that there are the multiple ERP systems are there, right? SAP is not alone, right? But the companies who implement SAP, business is also a business that you are having a shop, okay, and you are selling the groceries in a small city, right? That is also a business. Materials will come in, okay, you will be selling the materials, the payments will come in, you need to maintain the books also, uh, that how much of the profit you are gaining it from that business, but it's not mandatory that all the things and the compliance need to be followed. But that is also a business, right? Whether that business will implement SAP, the answer is no, that business will not implement SAP. Then we have a little bit more bigger business. Let's say it's a workshop is there. In a small workshop, we have 1 or 2 machines, lathe machines are there. Order comes and they are producing the components as per the requirement. So whether that small workshop, whether they will be implementing SAP, okay, or then we have a little bit more bigger business, and then we have a giant business, which we call it as Fortune 500 companies, which have their presence around the globe, right? They are having a businesses not in the one country, but the multiple countries, which we call it as the MNCs, multinational companies, right? So these giant businesses, when you're having a small shop, you still have a visibility of everything. When you are having a small workshop, you still have a visibility of everything, right? But when your business grows, you are having a 10 manufacturing plants in 5 different countries, and you are having a 50 distribution centers in 20 different countries. You are having a corporate office in all of the companies. The sales is happening from all of the companies. The procurement is happening from the different places. In that scenario, when the business become bigger, then it all the questions comes ki bhaiya, I am the owner of the business. How I get the visibility? And then after me, there is a leadership team who need to make sure that this business grow into the steady rate and we keep on increasing our business. So they need to also have a visibility. Ki bhaiya, how much profit I am making it, right? How much of revenue I am generating it, where my expenses are more, how my manufacturing is working, what is manufacturing output is coming it up, right? What are the products we are selling it? What are the high selling products? What are the things which got stuck in the inventory? Then the leadership team sitting into the different countries and the people like me, uh, or the people like the owners of the companies or the directors of the companies, VPs of the companies, managers of the companies, they need the end-to-end visibility. Okay, they need end-to-end visibility, right? And if you don't have a proper visibility in your system, then without proper visibility, a system become a corrupted system. The chances of to have a corruption in the system will increase rapidly if the transparency is not there. If the leadership team, other people does not know what are the things happening in the different area, then it's very difficult to manage the business, right? So these ERP tools, okay, they would be having the functionalities that you would be able to set up the process, that what process need to be followed. If I want to buy something, if I want to sell something, if I want to manufacture, what processes need to follow, and all the data for that processes will go into the system, which will get converted into the insights, visibility, and there would be some mandatory compliance also, which we need to follow, the mandatory tax compliance, mandatory financial compliance we need to follow. All these things need to come in place. SAP is the world's largest used system who is supporting the most number of complicated business processes, most number of business processes also, and most number of complicated business processes also is supported by SAP, right? Is supported by SAP. I will come to that, boss. हम तो सब functional consultant बनने आए हैं. We all want to become functional consultant. What would be our role? What we would be doing in that bigger scenarios, right? We'll come to that. But you need to understand, more or less every company wants a kind of a ERP system, right? Enterprise resource planning system, where you would be able to enter all of your data. You would be following a process. It will give you visibility. It will give you reports, and your financial books would also be maintained, which general ledgers books would also be maintained. How much profit you are making, how much revenue you are making on monthly basis, you would be able to track and you would be able to monitor. But when it comes to SAP, it will not be the small scale industries. It's not a product for the small scale industry. Basically, from the medium and the large scale industry would be opted for SAP. Okay, because uh, it is most used with the most functionality, but it is also most complex. It's also most complex to get implemented. It's not easy to get the implemented SAP, right? But then you understand that. I will talk about more onto the business process. Any ERP or any SAP system which we implemented, it need to support the business processes. If it does not support the business processes, then it is of no use. This is IT. IT is brought to support the operational business. Operational business does not work to support IT, right? IT, whenever we put it, IT should bring the benefits, bring all the things which can support your operational businesses. That's where SAP is an IT product, which comes into the picture to make sure we would be able to run our businesses better, right? But when I talk about ERP, apart from SAP, there are also the competitors. There are also the other ERP system, which can be used by the MNCs, which can be used by the middle scale companies, or which can be used by the small scale companies. Can you give me some another competitor ERP systems? What are the, apart from SAP, what are the competitors? What are the other SAP systems are available? quickly on the chat. Okay, I'm getting the answers. Okay, very good answers. Oracles, JDE, uh, MD I'm hearing first time, or Microsoft Dynamics. Okay, MD means Microsoft Dynamics. JDA, JDE, Tele, very good. Oracle, Salesforce, Coupa, Business One, okay, is from SAP. iScala, very good. PeopleSoft, Ban, Pros, these all are ERP systems, right? And we have shortlisted, you all came here beyond, if you will listed it, there would be around more than 100 ERP systems, more than 100 ERP system, which is doing very good into the business. But still, we came here to learn SAP because SAP is the most used, right? But let's have an eye that what are the different ERP systems available. As you have mentioned, apart from SAP, we have Oracle, Tele. Tele is the one which will be used by the small businesses, which they want to just make sure that their financial entries, financial books, which is a mandatory compliance, is met. Okay, it will be having a more solution towards the finance solutions, although little bit inventory and here and there you can do into the Tele also. But basically, it's a finance software. We don't call it as a uh, end-to-end ERP for a big company, but it's a very good software for the smaller companies, and many companies are using it to maintain their financial books. PeopleSoft is a software which is used more for the HR functionality, human resource functionality, and now we have a Workday. Many companies are moving from PeopleSoft to the new software, which is Workday, which has a more solution from your HR side and from the resourcing side, that solutions are more there. We have Ban, we have JD Edwards. JD Edwards is doing good. Many companies for the specific solutions. JD Edwards has a good functionality. They adopt to it. Kinaxis is one of the kind of a planning ERP system. Any companies who wants to have a more solution onto the planning, they go to Kinaxis. It's a competitor of SAP product, which is called IBP, Integrated Business Planning. Blue Yonder is for logistics and transport management. It's a competitor of SAP TM. Okay. Coupa is a competitor of Ariba. SAP has another product for sourcing and advanced sourcing and procurement functionalities, majorly for the sourcing functionalities. Ariba, Coupa is a competitor of Ariba. So it's not like that SAP is alone. There are Salesforce. Salesforce I have not mentioned anyone, but Salesforce is also doing very good into the CRM area, CRM part. It is giving a good competition for SAP Cloud for customers, C4C. So multiple ERP systems are there. And in the definition, if you will go to that any definition of a basic ERP system which can support a business, SAP itself has 100 plus products in the ERP. So the Ariba I am talking about, IBP I am talking about, these are the separate products which SAP has launched to support the different business functions, right? What product we are going to learn? We are going to learn SAP S/4HANA. Okay, SAP S/4HANA. By this time, you already know, okay, bhaiya, what is SAP? Okay, why we want to use SAP? I will next jump into the business processes so that you can understand what kind of business process would be there. Why then you would also be able to understand why ERP systems are required, right? Business become very complex. Okay, the nature of the business, the big business goes into a lot of complexity. To answer those complexity, softwares like SAP can help you out. Now, don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Now, SAP has a 3 words, right? The product has a 3 word. It is SAP, it is S4, and it is HANA. And then it would be having a different versions also, right? Earlier version was ECC. Okay, and we are now SAP S/4HANA. A lot of I do a lot of one-to-one consultings, career coachings. I do it, and many people come to me and they said that, sir, I recently learned SAP. I'm not getting job. When I came to them, okay, boss, what do you have learned? They said we learned ECC. The institute told us that of course we need to learn ECC. Then only you can learn S/4HANA. I don't know from where they bring those kind of concepts. We stopped in Sastrageek solution. We stopped. ECC trainings in 2016. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. It's 7 years ago, we have stopped the ECC training programs. 6, 7 years ago, we stopped the ECC training programs. Still, there are people, companies who are training people on ECC. Okay. So if you want to get yourself trained, you need to make sure you need to get trained on SAP S/4HANA, right? So it's like that. Okay, you want to use iPhone? First, you need to understand how to use the basic Nokia phone. First, you use that, then only you will be able to use iPhone. It does not happen like that, right? The new generation will directly use iPhone. And they would be able to understand how to use it, right? So SAP S/4HANA is the newest product in SAP. They are shifting, and there's a lot of jobs coming into the market because ECC is going to end by 2027. We would be having ECC, the end game for ECC. And a lot of companies are working on ECC, and that's where basically a lot of projects are coming because companies want to shift from ECC to SAP S/4HANA. After this mastery sessions, we have a different session for the excellence, for the experienced people. There we put a lot of strength that how this movement will happen, how we will be moving from ECC to SAP S/4HANA. All these things we talk about in our excellence sessions. But SAP S/4HANA become a game changer into the ERP industry, right? That's where basically it will not be easy to shift ECC to SAP S/4HANA. It is not like that a new version of application came, which you went into the app store, you just get it installed. It's not as simple as that. This movement itself from ECC to SAP S/4HANA in one project which I am working on, it will take around 7 to 9 years of time to do this shift for the full global company, 7 to 9 years. And that also not everything will be shifted. One part and focus of the business will be shifted. Normal one wave for shift from ECC to S/4HANA can go from somewhere, it depends on what kind of project it is, it can go from 6 to 18 months can require for this project. So you can understand how the complex the system is that takes so much of time. Even if somebody is implementing SAP S/4HANA for first time, we are into the Oracle, we are implementing SAP S/4HANA, that can also take somewhere from 9 months to 2 years. Only one wave. If company has a global presence, these projects go for 5 to 8 years. That big the project would be there for SAP. That's why so many resources are required. That's why you all came here because you want to become a consultant and part of these projects, right? So what is the game changer here? It is SAP simplified for HANA. So HANA is a database. So what they changed, they now working on. Many people come. I'm introducing this terminology, boss, so that you are clear. A lot of people come, sir, I'm working on HANA. No, HANA is a database. Are you a database admin or you are a functional consultant? What you are working, you should know what you are working on, right? So HANA is a database. HANA is a database which is called the in-memory database, which store which stores is all of the data in memory. In memory means it will not be a rotating disk and drum. The data is stored into the electronic charge in the transistors, right? And I give a lot of additional information on HANA in our excellence trainings. So because the data is stored in memory, the progress of the data, how we can analyze the data, how we can store the data becomes changed. There's a lot of things which we never able to do in ECC, a lot of reports, cross-functional modules reports, a lot of search functionality that we want to go and search the full database itself. We were never able to do it in ECC, but a lot of things now we are able to do it on HANA because of its database capability. So when SAP has changed the database, they have also changed the data model. Because of the database change, because of the data model change, and then they become a new interface called Fiori. Because of all of these changes, this becomes special. This takes time to shift to SAP S/4HANA, okay? Because all of the changes which SAP has done. They have changes thousands, not the thousands, you can easily say the millions of the line of codes they have modified, change when they came to SAP S/4HANA onto the new versions. A lot of new functionalities they have given. That's why they said that ECC, we are stopping it, and every company need to use SAP S/4HANA. So this is SAP S/4HANA. You are into the SAP S/4HANA trainings. Okay, we will be learning on SAP S/4HANA on-premise. I will talk about later a little bit what is the difference between on-premise or on a cloud version, but we will be having this training on SAP S/4HANA on-premise 2022 version. Okay, on 2022 version. When you get this access, you get access in if you have taken the bundle. From the bundle, you get access for 1 year attending the sessions live. Okay, which means that when in 2023 we will be starting our batches somewhere around in the month of April, then you would also be able to join those batches also. Okay, with the bundle access, you would be getting complimentary access of server for 3 months. And most of our students, because your learning journey will take some time, even the people working into the consulting company, they still love our servers and they just keep subscribing every 3 months our server, because the kind of access is there from our servers. You will not be getting even when you're working in consulting in many companies. Okay, so we will be getting trained on SAP S/4HANA. Now, if you want to get trained on SAP S/4HANA, it is very important that you understand the business model, right? So there are the different modules are there in SAP. All of these modules are there to support some business processes. So I always said that, boss, if you want to become a good consultant, you need to make sure you have a very good hand on to the business processes. Business processes are most important. Okay, if you know a good business processes, if your hand is good on the business processes, you would also be able to learn SAP a little easier, right? So I would be starting with the overall business processes. We'll discuss that. The idea of why SAP is required will get more emphasized. But before I speak more, I will quickly check if you have any questions so far. All the questions need to go into the all the questions need to go into the question and answer sessions, please. If you don't have any question, put NQ. HANA database can be integrated with R3. Database does not get integrated. Make sure Amol or whoever is asking the question, put your question into the question and answer, not in the chat. But to let you know, the database does not get integrated. The applications get integrated. So on HANA database, what is our application? SAP S/4HANA is the application and HANA is database. Okay. So if you say that, okay, I want to integrate something, two applications get integrated with each other. So SAP S/4HANA as an application have an integration with R3 also. It is possible. Okay, with the IDOC mechanism and with a lot of other integration mechanisms, we can integrate it, and we can also put PI. PI is an integration, middleware integration from SAP. We can put it, and SAP S/4HANA can get integrated with R3. Okay, HANA as a database does not get integrated. HANA as a database is implemented for application. Shiva is saying Telegram group links. Tomorrow I will show you our Teachable, where all of the content would be available. And when you go into your Teachable course, there is a first sections. In the first section, all the links are available. Telegram link, LinkedIn link, everything is available. For each of the trainings, we are having a Telegram group where you can discuss with each other, learn together. I would also be asking you to make your buddies. Okay, if you start to learn alone, maybe the less motivation would be there. But if you will create within Sastrageek, if you will create a group of couple of people together, 2-3 people together, the learning will happen very good. Each one individual can motivate, right? As soon as you enroll, I give you everything as a recorded session, right? Everything has been given as a recorded sessions, right? But still, I'm sitting here speaking with you, doing a live session. One of the major thing which I face, that why people are not able to become SAP consultant, because 60 to 70% of the people leave the things in between, leave the things behind. Because why? Because lack of motivation. You need someone to motivate you, right? There are in the world, there are 2 to 5% of people are there who are self-motivated, right? So they would do the things by themselves. But rest 80 to 90% of the people, they require some additional motivation. They require some disciplines, right? So that they can go through the discipline to complete the things. and they all will also require some push, right? So that is why I'm doing the live session. There's no another reason to do the live session, to make sure to fall you into the discipline, to give you a push which you require to learn the things. Okay, I have now a few questions coming it up. Okay, and the people who has raised hand, I will just give at the end to unmute yourself. HANA database I have already. When is then the session number 2 is the gamifier? Tomorrow is the session number 2. Tomorrow is the gamifier session number 2. After some year, any need of learn SAP coding to SAP ABAP for functional consultant? Amol is asking. Yes, you can go ahead and learn ABAP. We have specifically created the people who have 3 to 5 years of functional consultant experience. We have specifically created for them a course which is called ABAP for functional consultant, because I understand the functional consultant you're working on, little bit of ABAP knowledge can help you to become a better architect in future. So everybody, after having 3 to 5 years of experience as a functional consultant, should learn a little bit of ABAP, and ABAP for functional consultant can help you out. Will we get hands-on practice on S/4HANA configuration? Yes, without hands-on practice on the configuration, Mr. Kaushal Pandey, you cannot become a consultant. So how I would be conducting this? Once we are setting this base, first I will be asking you to execute end-to-end scenario so that you can understand. First, I would be explaining the business process to you, and then I will explain you how this business process will happen end-to-end. A basic simple cycle will take in SD, MM, PP, FICO, everywhere. A basic simple cycle will take, and we'll try to run it end-to-end so that you can understand how the business process can run on SAP, right? Then we'll start our journey from the configuration. Everybody in this training need to create the company codes, need to create plants, need to create the enterprise structures, you need to create your own master data, material, customer, vendor, business partner based on the module you are in. And then after doing all this, we'll be jumping into the detailed of the further business processes. And then you will learn that how this configuration is used to run the business processes. And for the different business processes, what different configurations or master data we need to set it up. Okay, that's how we'll be doing it. We would be giving you the live session for 40 hours. Just I want to make sure everybody is clear. There would be in mastery, we commit for the 40 hours of live session, but our content is little bigger. Okay, the content might be around of 55 to 60 hours. So there would be few topics we want you to go through the recordings. Okay, the most important things we would be covering in live session, and some additional things I would be asking you to go through the recording. Some additional exercises, some additional homework can be given to go through some of the videos from the recording. Okay. So what I have found it out when I have structured it, we only giving it and you not putting effort does not work. It need to go in hand. I need to put effort and you need to also put effort on you, right? The people who attend the live session and who also do the self-study become a consultant very quick. So hands-on would be there and it's mandatory to do the hands-on. I'm 10+ year consultant looking for a knowledge via TS450 certification, but I saw the certification will expire in 2024 in SAP website. Which certification and training bundle I should go for? TS450 is SAP S/4HANA Sourcing and Procurement Excellence. So you need to go for the excellence training. If you have a 10 years SAP experience consultant, you are already well versed on MM. So go for excellence training, right? Go for excellence training. Now the certifications are getting expired. So you need to get certified once. Okay. Get certified once with TS450. And then I think it would be good. So far, SAP has not put it the mandatory thing that a functional consultant cannot work on SAP system if he does not have certification. That kind of mandatory thing SAP has not given. Those live sessions will contain the live project implementations. So Anmol, we have two things. So in this one, we would be asking you to create a company code, and you do all the things. and do the configuration. Then we have another thing which we call it as a internship program. So in internship program, we make you sit with the group of consultants, okay, because SAP consultant cannot be implemented by one. A group of consultants need to do it together. So in internship program, we'll be giving, it is not live, it's simulation. I cannot give you a live server access of a company, right? Nobody will give you because that's not a playground. That's a pumping hard for that company. That's why new people has given chance less in SAP because you are handling some serious business. If you do something wrong, the company can collapse. And I have seen company getting collapsing because the ERPs are not handled, SAP is not handled well, right? So once you have enough experience, then on the actual job, you would be able to handle the things live. But we have created to make sure that you get into the jobs, you need to know all of the things. So we have created an internship programs. In internship program, you sit with the consultants and then you deliver one project on your own. It would not be live, it would be a simulation project. We will be creating that. Right now we are working on the Ratia rubber. Next internship, we'll be working on a cotton industry. Last internship batch, we worked on to the healthcare business. So we take our business, we said, this is the business, this is how it is working. I give you the requirement and you need to do that, complete the project with the help of other, but that is an internship program. You can write to the support team to know more about the internship programs. Okay. We are finishing in this month the batch of the rubber manufacturing, which we are doing it. And in the next month, we'll be starting with the cotton industry batch. Okay, now I will just pause on to the question because the generic questions are coming, but I will try to answer them. If some questions I'm not able to answer today, please jump in tomorrow. Tomorrow I have more time to spend you at the end. So they are basically all of your generic questions or the career related question. कि भैया करना क्या है मुझे? I have that much of experience that which module I should do, how I should do, what exactly I need to do it. I would love to spend more time with you tomorrow to answer those questions. Now let's quickly jump into the business processes. Okay. I will go to my OneNote to explain you the business process. People ask me, Parminder, we find that you are having a very good knowledge. And whenever even I have worked into the consulting projects, my 50 to 60% bandwidth, more than 60% bandwidth goes into the consultings. I am doing as a consultant, as a solution architect, I'm working onto the project. And then my 30 to 40, because training comes from passion, goes into train the people. Okay, and now we are also as a Sastrageek, we have started the consultings also. So many as Sastrageek students, we have given the offer letters from Sastrageek itself because we have a consulting requirements also. We have a couple of projects for which we are doing SAP consulting. We need resources there, right? So even when I'm working into the consulting projects, many times managers called me and they asked me that, Parminder, how come you are a very good consultant and the other people are not able to do the things like that? What is the difference? Then I try to answer that question from myself. What is the difference? The difference is what I feel the difference is because the technology keep on changing, right? ECC was there, S4 HANA is there, something else will come, right? What I think that how I am very strong into the consulting, how I can discuss the things with the client with so much of confidence, speak with them because of my business knowledge, because of my knowledge on the business processes. So I have worked almost before jumping into SAP, I have worked for 3 to 4 years into the business operations. I worked into the productions, planning, quality, how the sourcing happened, warehouse management, how the warehouse are managed, into the plant maintenance. I have worked how the configurations, integrations happens into the different business processes. I have seen on my own. I have worked on my own. So that's where basically I have a viewpoint that how the business works. And after that, whenever I try to jump, let's say the transportation, I never worked on, right? But in my consulting career, I need to also work on the transportations, right? Transportation processes, which I never got the experience. So, but there also, I made sure that first I understand the business. What is the business terminology used? how the business, what are the business processes are there. Because when you put a IT product or a SAP product, it is support the business, it is put it to support the business process. So that's why having a business process knowledge is very important. So if you are coming from a particular domain, that's why I always say that if you're coming from a particular domain of a business process, select your module as per your domain experience. I see so many people, I don't know why, work as a production engineer 3 years, 5 years, and when it comes to SAP, they selected MM module. I said, why you selected MM module? Sir, job opportunities badi hai MM mein, PP mein nahi. You need one job. You just need one job, right? You don't need 100 jobs to work. So make sure your module selection should happen as per your domain experience. Once you selected first module, you can jump into any other modules. You can learn more. But whenever you are learning more, make sure you give a lot of focus onto the business process because technology changes rapidly. The way this thing happen into an ERP systems can be little different, but the core business process hardly change. If I see 15, 20 years ago, what the business process has been used and what now has been used, the changes would be 5 to 10%. But if I see the technology changed a lot. So if you are good into the core business processes, you know the business processes well, as a functional consultant, whether SAP is there or not, your job will not go anywhere. Because right now you're consulting SAP, in future something else will come with the strong business process knowledge, you would be able to learn quickly and you would be able to consult that, right? So make sure we understand the business processes well, right? So let's start with the business process today. This is a little small. Okay. So let's talk about a company which is a manufacturing company. Okay, so this is the manufacturing company. They are having, I'm putting a very simple scenario and the things will become very complex, you will see. This is a plant they are having. This is a manufacturing plant. Where basically they are having different set of machines, which is doing the production. This is a machine line, which is doing the production. And once the production has been done, the material would be stored into store. Okay. Same way, this is a finished goods store. They would also require, because if they want to produce something, you also require store for RM. Raw material store is there, where basically trucks comes, give you the raw materials, and then we are having a FG store. From the FG store, trucks goes out. Okay, so raw material has been received. We have putting the production onto the machine line. Then the trucks goes out and it goes into our distribution center. And from the distribution center, further, we sell our product to our end customer. We sell our product to the end customer, right? So that is a company. You can assume that a big plant, manufacturing plant, let's say it's a plant for the foods and juice manufacturing, where they have a multiple lines also. To produce foods, to produce juices, they have a multiple lines, right? Now they need to buy the raw materials. They need to do the processing of the materials, and then they need to store it also. And then they need to ship it and sell it to the customer. In this full business process, there would be different departments would be working. So when we call it as a SAP module, each SAP module supports a group of business, a department of business, or multiple departments of the business. Okay, so let's we talk about, we call it as a module SAP MM, right? MM is a wrong word, which has been corrected in S4HANA. It is called SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement. Materials management, managing a material. Materials is managed here also when you are buying it. Production also you are managing the materials. In sales also you are managing the materials, right? So that was a wrong name for a module which SAP has corrected. The right name is SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement. But when you will be preparing your CVs, make sure you don't miss SAP MM. If you came here for the MM training and you will be becoming an MM consultant, in your CVs, sourcing and SAP S4HANA Sourcing and Procurement and SAP MM both need to be mentioned, because MM is also still a keyword, a lot of job description and job requirement, which will be mentioning SAP MM, right? So if that keyword is not there in CV, your CV might not be selected. So make sure we know the keywords, and how we know the keywords, how all these things will happen, I will let you know. I have prepared a separate content for you, that is SAP Job and Mastery and Implementation Project Exposure, that will be starting from the CV building itself. And once we complete the master data, I would be asking each individual of you to start that course, SAP Job and Mastery and Implementation Project Exposure, on a self-paced mode. Okay, so this is where basically the things are happening. And now, don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. To procure this raw material, we would be having a department, sometimes it's called supply chain department. Now, the different business would be using a different terminologies. Sometimes it is called the supply chain department. Sometimes it is called the sourcing department. Sometimes it is called the procurement department. Sourcing can be there, procurement can be there, supply chain, different terminologies used. But what this department is doing, this department job is to make sure we have, whenever we want to buy a material, in this scenario, we are buying raw materials. Apart from the raw materials, we will need to buy multiple different things. In a sourcing and procurement scenarios, apart from the raw materials, what kind of other things we need to buy? This supply chain department, procurement department, apart from the raw material, what other things it would be buying? Quickly answers over the chat. Machines would be buying. Very good, Adil. So machines are called assets. So we might be buying assets also, but if you want to set up this machine, first you need to buy the machine, right? That's good. Services you need to buy. Services would be coming, you know, that the multiple different kind of services which might be required. That also we need to buy it. We need to also buy the services. Services can be a lot of things would be happening here. Let's say you want to make sure these machines are maintained well, right? So for this, you will be having an annual maintenance contract. That is a service you are buying it to maintain the machines. Every 3 months, 6 month engineer would be coming and checking. That's the buying of a service. Then you are implementing SAP here on this plant. So for SAP, you need third-party consulting. So you will be buying consulting services to get the SAP implemented, right? You will be buying the consulting services to get this implemented. Then there would be a cleaning staff would be there, which comes and clean the whole factories and other stuff. That is also kind of a services we will be buying it. So we need to buy assets, we need to buy services. What people are saying, we need to buy consumables. Consumables need to be bought. Okay, we need to buy the pipeline procurements, pipeline materials, or we call it that indirect materials. Direct materials are the one which will be directly used in the production line. Indirect materials are the one which is not directly used. So if I give you an example of a raw material in the juice manufacturing, your juice pulp, bottle, cap, label, that will directly go in your product. So that's a direct material, that's called the raw material. Indirect materials would be there. You have a machine tools. Okay, for the machines, you need to buy the tools, you need to buy the consumables, you need to buy the safety shoes, you need to buy the safety jackets, you need to buy the safety helmets, earbuds, you need to buy it. You need to buy the stationery. You need to buy the printer cartridge, A4 papers. A lot of things is required to run a business, which does not go directly in your product. So all of this buying would be done by the procurement team, sourcing team, supply chain team, different names in the different companies. Different names would be there in the different companies. So they would be doing all of this processing of the buying part. Okay. And in SAP, what we call it? We call them as a MM consultant. MM consultant would be focusing only on this buying portion. You will be seeing the small ERP. One guy goes finance, sourcing, procurement, sales, HR, everything he will do in that and come back in 1 month of time, right? Here, this one, not only the one consultant, multiple consultant need to work for 1 to 1.5 years only onto their specific area of sourcing and procurement only. And then they would be supporting that particular area. So SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement is the module which will be supporting this part. So in this part, what would be happening, right? So first thing we will be there is vendor. This guy is called vendor. This guy is called supplier, or this guy is called business partner. He need to sell the material to us. We need to buy from us, raw material, services, whatever. We'll be buying from a vendor. Nowadays, it is called business partner. So to buy it from the vendor, we would be going ahead and there would be a process of buying, right? So this process would be starting it. Okay, I will go through the process in detail in the below slide, but this would be the buying operation where basically we need to do the sourcing. We need to give the requirement to him and then he will supply back to us. So basically we need to give a purchase order to him. He will supply the material and we will be doing a good receipt. I will talk a little bit detail of the process in the below slide, but this is how the operations need to happen. Okay, so this is how the operations need to happen. So this buy operation will be supported by SAP module. So I will start writing the module somewhere here on the right hand side by SAP MM or sourcing and procurement. So when the material will come, the material also need to be stored here, right? Into the inventory. Material also need to be stored here into the inventory. The storing the material as an inventory is covered in SAP module. That function has been supported. Is called inventory management. Now, inventory management is very much linked with the sourcing and procurement because the functions of the inventory management, SAP has put it in the curriculum of SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement. But little bit of inventory management, every module would be using. Your PP, SD, everybody would be using little bit of inventory management. Now, if I talk about more into this sourcing and procurement, there are some modules which provide you the higher functionality. That is like Ariba. Ariba is another word you can hear about, which will be giving you the sourcing functionality. It's a cloud product. It's not part of SAP S/4HANA. It's a satellite system. It's roam around the SAP S/4HANA. So Ariba can get connected with S/4HANA and it will be giving you the more capability of sourcing. When we call SAP S/4HANA sourcing and procurement, this would be having more capability from the procurement side. The more capabilities would be there from the procurement side. Okay. Then we have a Ariba. Then once the material has come, once the material has been stored also, what would be the next part? Next part would be your manufacturing it. You would be manufacturing the materials here, right? To do the manufacturing of the materials, you need to get the material issued from the store. That is still part of the inventory management. Once the materials comes into your machine line, you need to make sure you know what process need to be used, which materials need to be used to produce a product, right? Which machines need to be used. So that full process, that which machine need to be used, how much time the machine will take, which exact materials we need to consume it to produce a product. This full functionality has been covered by SAP with the module name as a PP. Then we have a fourth module is production planning, which is now also known as a manufacturing. So this PP module would be having all the functions to support this manufacturing part. How to produce, when to produce, how much to produce, what would be the scrap, what would be the cost, what would be the output. Everything would be part of the PP. Now understand, PP covers the two things. PP covers the planning and PP covers the production. Okay, how the production need to happen at the shop floor, that has been covered by the manufacturing or the production stream of PP. Then the planning is when to produce. Okay, let me ask you that how do I know that which product I need to produce on a particular day? In a business, how would be I would be knowing that which product I need to produce on a particular day? Quickly, questions onto the answer into the chat. So some questions you would not be having an idea what I am asking. If you don't have an idea, what you need to do, you need to type NI, no idea. Sir, मुझे तो कोई idea नहीं है. I came here for learning, boss. You tell me, right? You can tell that, right? So you can put NI, because you know that when I am asking these questions to you, the idea is to bring your focus back. Until unless you will not use your fingers on the keyboard, the full focus will not come back. And when you put NI, your mind will automatically get activated कि भैया मैंने NI लिख दिया, no idea. Now I need to get some idea, right? So quickly, the people who does not know the answer, it does not mean you don't answer it. You answer it as NI. So I'm getting some answers here. Material requirement planning, forecasting, MRP based on MRP, sales forecast, forecasting customer sales. So I have more than 70 people here, right? And the responses I got is 10. It means the 50 people need to type NI quickly. People who has not answered, quickly type NI in the chat. Thank you for NIs. Based on the forecast, based on the planning team. So there would be a planning analysis based on the safety stock, MRP, forecasting, a lot of things are coming in, right? So to make sure that we are, let me use some another color. To make sure that we are doing this production, we need to do the planning, we need to do the forecasting also, right? So there would be a separate team who would be working on to the forecast. They would be working on to the forecast. So this is also called your sales and operations planning. So they would be working to prepare the forecast. They would be checking with the sales teams. With the sales team, they would be checking it, getting the input that what are the sales happen in the particular areas. Okay. And then based on that, they would be planning. I'm talking about a scenario kind of a make to stock. And they would be working on that how much of the production we require to do it. So they would be doing a forecasting based on the last year's sales and the expectation for this year. In every month, how much forecast is there, right? So this forecast, doing the forecast and doing it, this comes under the planning. And from this forecast, let's say you will be doing a forecast for a finished good, for a juice bottle, right? But from the juice bottle, you need to understand how much of production I need to do. This forecast will be telling what I am expected to sell. I'm expected to sell in the month of January 50,000 juice bottles. But how much, it does not mean I need to produce 50,000, right? There can be some bottles already exist in my stock. 15,000 is already existing in my stock. right? So I need to produce 35,000 only. So after doing the forecast, we would be having another set of planning, which in SAP terminology, it is called MRP, Material Requirement Planning. This forecast would be fed into the MRP, and then this MRP would be telling, boss, how much we need to do the planning, how much we need to produce, and how much we need to buy. This functionality is a little bit of overlap between the sourcing and procurement, because it's giving the buy planning also, it's giving the produce planning also. In generally, 80% of this functionality is handled by PP consultant, but in some project, consultants also need to pitch in. So we would be having a combined session, integration session between PP and for MRP, 1 or 2 session, but PP goes in very depth of the planning. Okay, strategies and other things will come, which will not cover for but the basic MRP, people should also know. So for that, we'll be having integration sessions between PP and or sourcing and procurement module. Okay. So here, to do this planning, to do this forecast, we have a PP module, but we also have advanced modules are also available. We have a APO module, advanced planning and optimization module is available. Okay, that's a separate product which is going to be replaced by IBP, integrated business planning. Okay, integrated business planning is available. Then we also have one production planning and detailed scheduling available, which is now part of the S4 HANA. This is a separate module. Production planning, if you need to do the detailed scheduling of which time, at which hour, what product, on which machine I need to produce, that level of granular planning is required. Then we have another module, PPDS. We'll be having a separate PPDS consultants for that. Production planning and detailed scheduling. Within the manufacturing plan, there are a lot of things. Okay, it is not only the PP is there, only the production planning is there. You need to also make sure the material you are receiving it here and material you are producing it here need to get inspected. Inspection would be happening, right? Material you are getting it or material you are producing it, both materials you need to get the inspection done. Okay, so there will be separate team, which is the quality, which is called quality management, quality assurance, QA teams would be there. They would be doing the inspection. To support their functionalities, SAP has module, which is called QM, quality management. QM is a module which SAP has, right? QM is the module which SAP has. Now you have a machines also. There would be a separate workshop would be there, which is called the plant maintenance. There would be engineers would be there who would be there to take care of the breakdowns, to do the preventive maintenance, to do the corrective maintenance. They would be sending their engineers to machines to check that why the breakdown is there and to correct the breakdown. Okay, so there would be a module for that in SAP called plant maintenance. We call it as SAP PM, plant maintenance. So this is QM is quality management. These all are separate modules. And in projects, we have a separate consultants to handle these modules. So plant maintenance is a separate function department, separate module. Quality management is a separate function department. Complete separate module which can support all the functionalities of that department. Right? Then we have a lot of resources here, right? These are the resources. Our teams are managing it, right? We have departments, peoples are there, right? To manage the people, we have another module which is called SAP HR, human resource, which is going to be replaced by SAP Success Factors, which is a satellite system. So for that, we are having to manage the people, to onboard the people, to give them the offer letters, to give them the salaries, to do the salary calculations, right? So a separate module has been given called HR, human resources, right? Now, when we come here, when we need to store the materials, we need to store the material here, we need to store the material here, or we need to store the material here at the distribution center. The normal functionalities can be done with the inventory management module. But there can be some functionalities which would be required, advanced inventory management, where basically you would be having a very complex warehouses, multiple storage bins are there, multiple racks are there, multiple different kind of storage types are there. For that, SAP has given another module called SAP EWM, Extended Warehouse Management. SAP EWM is there, right? To make sure the materials are stored. And then when you are selling it to the customers, here, this process of getting into the distributions and selling it to the customers, there would be a sales department would be there. There would be a sales department would be there who would be doing all the selling functionality, taking the inquiry, managing the pipelines, making sure the sales order is booked, and making sure the sales order is delivered also. It's called sales department. It's called pre-sales. It is also called distribution. Okay, or it is also called in the business terminology fulfillment. In SAP, the module which we use for is sales and distribution. Sales comes with booking the orders, and distribution comes as to supply for the orders. So it covers the both. Booking of your orders and supplying for the orders. Both has been covered, sales and distribution. Okay. If you are selling the services, by any chance, if you are selling the services, SAP has given a special module for that. That is SAP Customer Service. SAP Customer Service module would be there for that. Okay. So there are so many modules are there. I will go into a little bit deeper also so that you know all the terminologies. And there are some advanced modules in this framework onto the CRM part, which is a satellite system, we call it. It's called C4C, Cloud for Customer, which also include your hybrids. If you are having a retail business, if you're having an e-commerce business, okay, then C4C is used. S4HANA is more B2B business to business, right? C4C is for the end users. If you are selling it, if you have a retail business, then we use that C4C, Cloud for Customer. Again, it's a cloud system, separate system, not part of S4HANA. So the different things which I have mentioned here, some of them are part of SAP S4HANA as a module, and some of them are a separate product itself. Some of them are separate product. I will again highlight which are the separate products and which are the modules, but let me complete the discussion. Now, there are some modules which would be impacting across the supply chain. Okay, they would be from the vendor till the sales, they would be impacting. One of the module for this is finance and controlling. Finance and controlling would be module which would be integrating from the start till the end. When you are buying here, whenever you are increasing the inventory, you need to also pay to the vendor. So as soon as the inventory change happen, your general ledger accounts need to be booked. You need to book liabilities, you need to book accounts payables, you need to book account receivables. So here also, when you are buying it, the finance will come into the picture. When you are producing it, controlling will come into the picture. At what product cost we are manufacturing it, what cost is going into which cost centers, profit centers. When you're selling it, accounts receivable will come into the picture. You need to make sure that the GL accounts get booked, and you have also get the payment from the customer. So we get the payment from the customer and we pay to the vendors, and we make sure that the full controlling happen for the cost. We have a FICO module, finance and controlling module. So we would be having module which is integrated with all of the modules like FICO, finance and controlling. And we have some advanced modules with FICO is FSCM, Financial Supply Chain Management. And we also have a central finance. These are some advanced finance modules. So you would be focusing on within FICO also. First, you would be focusing on the finance part, then controlling, then FSCM. So if you want to be in SAP down the line, 5-6 years, there are a lot of things within your functionality and area which you can learn. right? So finance would be the one module. Then there are a lot of technical modules would also be there. Okay. All of these modules would be linked with another module called ABAP. ABAP is a module where basically your programming is done. At the back end, the programs need to be written, right? The modules we are talking about here, these all are functional modules where basically functional consultant would be working, where coding requirements are not there. To learn coding is not there. The coding learning would be done by the ABAPers. They would be knowing the coding. We as a functional consultant, if some change required, which we cannot do with the configuration, we'll be reaching out to our ABAPers and we'll say, Ki bhaiya, boss, can you go ahead and make the changes in the program as per this requirement, right? So that would be done by the ABAPer. So ABAP is also a technical module. Apart from that, we have a lot of technical modules are there. We have a basis. Bases are your system admins who would be managing your system. When you want to work onto the system, first system need to be in place. So somebody need to install the server. Somebody need to install the application. Somebody need to install all the patches on that, right? Somebody need to also make sure that it should be upgraded. All the different components which is used in this big system, they need to be updated. Somebody need to monitor them also. What is the usage of the technical resources? Technical servers. So that would be done by the basis team. Security, who would be having what access? That's also part of the basis. Then we are having BI, BW, Business Intelligent Business Warehouse. That is more for the reportings and analytics. Then we have a HANA DB admins, database admins. Okay. There's a separate module where basically you can learn as a HANA as a database, what it works. There would be the HANA database admins would be there. Then there are the separate consultant who work on the PI process integrations is a separate product by SAP, which makes sure if there's are a lot of interfaces are there, these people handle the interfaces. They work onto the middleware product, which is PIPO, which can help to integrate one SAP system to another SAP system or one SAP system to any another non-SAP system. So PIPO would be there. Okay. So there is a lot of different technical consultants would be there who would be playing their role into the projects. Okay. And some of them you would be having integration with them, you would be having a connection with them during the implementation, and some of them just would be working at the back end and you would not be knowing that, okay, some kind of consultants are also working. So these all are called SAP technical modules, which is more technical in nature. Apart from ABAP, there are UI5 or Fiori consultants are also there who need to work on the UI5 coding for the Fiori. Fiori is another interface which can use on the mobile applications or onto the browser also you can use it. So these are the different modules which would be there within the SAP. Okay. Any module which you feel that I have missed it up, you can also highlight. There are so many products, so many modules are there. I try to show you a business process and in these business process, what different modules would be there or the product would be there. I will also highlight it here in some different color that what out of these, which ones are the products and which one are let me highlight with this color, module. So this is a SAP S/4HANA module. Inventory management is a module. Ariba is a separate product. PP manufacturing is a module in S/4HANA. APO is a separate product. IBP is a separate product. PPDS is a module now in S/4HANA. Earlier it was product. Now it is available in S/4HANA. Quality management is a module. Plant maintenance is a module. SAP HR is a module, but success factor is a separate product. SAP EWM separate product. Sales and distribution is a module. Customer service is a module. P4C is a product. Hybris is a product. FICO is a module. FSCM is a module, Central Finance is a product. Then I missed, before you tell me, is SAP TM, Transport Management. This is also a product, separate product, not part of S/4HANA. Now it's a part of embedded S/4HANA, but still it requires a separate license. Yogita is asking data migration. Data migration comes under the HANA DB module. Data migrations is comes where basically a data migration project is there, where basically functional consultant might also require it. So we also do the data migration in SAP implementation projects as a functional consultant. Also, we do the data migration. We need to upload the master data. We need to upload the open transaction data. So that kind of data migration, functional consultant can do. But there is a separate product for the data migration, which is technical in nature. Data migration generally covered under the BODS, Business Object Data Services, is a specific product to handle the data migrations. It comes under the BODS. Paulson Babu is asking why EWM is a product. EWM is available as a separate server. EWM is available. That's a separate product. When you take the normal license of SAP S/4HANA, you don't get the advanced EWM license, right? If you have S/4HANA, it does not mean that although the EWM, PPDS, TM, they are there, but it does not mean you can use them. You will have to pay separate license fee for them to get them used. Earlier, they was available. Right now, also they are available on a separate product, on a supply chain box, SCM box. Now, with the HANA capability, SAP is able to embed them on S/4HANA. So if you're using a standalone one, it's a separate product. If you're using an embedded S/4HANA EWM, advanced EWM, it's still as a product because you need to pay additional fee to get it used. Guys, make sure a question goes into the question and answers. PS, I missed it. Thank you. PS is a module, project services is a module which is used specifically for the industry like construction or big manufacturings. Like if you want to manufacture a ship or a plane, okay, big manufacturings, big machines, you are producing it, or you are into the construction, big buildings, you are producing it, then we use SAP PS as a module, project services. Then it is called as a project. We handle the projects and we deliver the project. So project specific WBS specific requirements comes under the PS. Anmol said, does the mastery course in SAP sourcing and procurement? Again, Anmol, make sure question goes into the question and answer window. Mastery course does not cover the data migration. We have a HANA migration cockpit training. It's a separate training, self-paced training, which you can take it. We have created a separate data migration training. And you can take that, or that training is part of the excellence. If you take the excellence bundle, you will be getting complimentary HANA migration cockpit training, which is used for the data migrations. Whether mastery course contain the area of analytics reportings in SAP Fiori? No, for Fiori also we have a separate course, A to Z Fiori for functional consultant, which you can buy it separately. It's a self-paced course, or when you go for excellence, you get that course complimentary. Now, if I combine sourcing and procurement, we have all together, if you will see, we have two bundles we have created. But out of these two bundles, if you will see the content-wise, multiple trainings are there. In Mastery, we have a sourcing and procurement mastery. Every module it is same. Huh? We have sourcing and procurement mastery content. We have a job and mastery. Those are the two major contents, job and masteries, right? If I will combine both of them, the already content is somewhere around 130 hours. Then sourcing and procurement excellence, we are having a excellence. We are having a HANA migration cockpit. We are having a to Z Fury. I'm not considering the other products. These three products itself is having a almost training of 70 hours. So altogether, it goes to 220 to 250 hours. I cannot put everything 220 and 250 into the mastery. Why I don't put it? Because when I put it, people think they need to complete everything to become a consultant, and nobody is able to cover that much of course. And the cost becomes so high that people don't touch it. So you learn step by step, path by path that we have defined. I don't want to make a mastery course too bulky that you feel that, oh yeah, I was never able to complete it. Now I cannot become a SAP consultant. There's a one reason, another reason why people does not become SAP consultant. Many people who start following the SAP books, 60% of the people who just started following the SAP books and they feel that, okay, first they will finish the SAP books, then they become a SAP consultant. 60% people failed in that process because that has a lot of content, huge amount of content. 60% of the people are never able to finish the content, and they feel that if they have not learned each and everything, they are not consultant. But when you would be working on a consultant, as a consultant, your working area can be as small as that you are only working in a project to handle a material master. As small as that. I have worked into the 2 or 3 projects where I was not having any access to the configuration. I cannot do any configuration. There's a separate team to do the configurations. So that you need to understand, to become SAP consultant, it does not mean that you need to learn each and everything. That's where I would be asking you to prepare your resume once this 50% of the mastery is done. I would be asking, prepare your resume and go into the market. Because when I was learning SAP, I found now there are so many good people. Out of batch of 30 people, only 3 people cleared the certification 20 years ago. I'm talking when I become a consultant. Rest 27 people was not able to clear the certification, and out of 3 also the consultant only become 1. When I find that why this, because we were going through the big deep SAP books, read them again, and I found that there are 8 or 10 very good candidates are there, which they even come to me, I can make them consultant in 2 months. But what was not correct was the process was not correct. Okay, process people adopt to become SAP consultant was not correct. So we make sure that we have put all the things in place, but in different buckets, so that you focus onto the major content. And when it is required, you jump into another content also to cover it, and you take your time to cover it, but you go into the market as a consultant as quick as possible. Your learning journey will never end. The content which we have done with the with your internship program also is a separate content. Then we have a step up circles. Altogether, mastery and excellence, any module, if you will join them together, it would be kind of a 400 hours of content. But to become a consultant, you don't need 400 hours of content. Basic 40 hours of content, if you go through it, practice in the system, put 40 hours of our content, which we'll be covering it here, and then additional content which you can go through it. If you can go through job and mastery plus this 40 hours of content, you can become SAP consultant, but you need to also put 200 hours from your side on practicing on the system. Arvind is asking the sequence of the learning. Sequence of the learning, I will let you know. Nobody can jump into the excellence without learning mastery. If you are already experienced consultant, you have a more than 3 years of consulting experience, then you can directly jump into the excellence. Otherwise, you need to first complete mastery. Within the mastery also, there are the 2 things. 2 courses are there. One is the main module course, and then second is the job and mastery course. Okay, those 2 courses you need to complete it before you go to the excellence. But to become a consultant with the mastery course itself, you can also become a consultant. Okay. So I have covered the process. First, I would be asking any questions on the process. Then I would be spending some time to answer your questions. And then in the next session, we'll be jumping in. I would be writing the end-to-end process again with the document flow. SD, TM, not TM, SD, MM, PP, finance. What would be the document flow? How these things will get integrated with each other. This will show you a case what we have done in the earlier session. This is the SAP process. So this is the path which we'll be talking about. And if you put everything together, how the picture will look like, I will explain you this one. And then we'll jump into the enterprise structure, configuration, master data, and the SAP system landscape. What are the SAP system landscapes out there? Okay, now I will be jumping into the Q&A. First, I would be taking the questions which are specific to the topic which we have covered today, that the business processes which we have covered. Any question on the business process, I will take it first. Then I would be jumping into the general questions. If you have not enrolled for this course, you might not be able to attend tomorrow's session. So today's session, I think people who has given the inquiries has been included. But tomorrow's session, you would only be able to join it if you have been enrolled for this course. I will jump into the questions. First, I will try to answer the questions which is related to the topic. Let me check. Investment management. Investment management, I think, is a part of FSCM, Financial Supply Chain Management, but I am not very sure, Babu, that what does Naval? What about SAP BTP? Boss, the word Jaswinder say that कि भैया जो आग लगा रहा है मार्केट में उसको तो छोड़ ही दिया आपने. SAP BTP is the one of the module which is coming into the picture, and I should include that. I agree with that. Business technology platform. So this is basically the cloud consultants which work on to integrate SAP S/4HANA with another cloud products, SAP cloud products or the third-party cloud products, work onto the BTP, business technology platform, very new in the nature. So basically the cloud integrations would be happening it through now the BTP. So BTP is also one of the module which is coming into the picture, correct? Me is asking, is every module has their own separate workflow in SAP? So every module would be having a separate workflow for sure. Okay, so what I have shown you is a higher level. Then I will draw a picture which is a little bit more with the document flow, but every module would be having a multiple different processes. And for these different processes, different flow would be there. But at high level in SG, we call it order to cash process flow. In sourcing and procurement, we call it procure to pay process flow. In PP, we call it plan to produce process flow. In FICO, we call it account receivable, account payable process flows, or asset management process flows. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Is the internship has certification given? Yes, we give the certification for the 6 month of internship will be given to you. But you discuss with me, I will also suggest you once you are into the internship program, I will also suggest you how to utilize that certificate. Okay, how to utilize the certificate, how to showcase your experience. You can also discuss with me in the internship session. I will guide you for that. But yes, we give the certification for internship program. 6 month internship certification has been given, and it's not it's an online course which you can work together with SAP jobs. A lot of people make a mistake to learn SAP, they leave their job. Then many people are not able to convert into SAP jobs. They goes into the depressions. Our curriculum has been made like that, that with your existing job, you need to put a lot of extra efforts. SAP is not everybody's cup of tea. I don't want to make any promise who is not ready to put efforts. I want you to put your efforts with your existing job. Don't leave your job. With your existing job, Sundays, Saturdays, every day, 2-3 hours, bring it out and put the focus, put the preparation. You would be able to do it. Okay. Don't leave your existing job. It would be hell lot of efforts for 6 to 9 months. Some people has done in 3 months. Average duration I have seen 6 months. Some people also taken 9 months. Okay. So there would be hell lot of efforts would be required. We are here to support you, but you need to put those efforts. Me has another related question. What is central finance? Is they using Fiori? Yes, central finance is using Fiori. Central finance is a separate product from SAP. where basically if you're having a different systems, right? You are having for Asia, you have a different system. For foods manufacturing, you have a different SAP system. For consumer good, you have a different SAP system. So when a group of company will talk about, or when a company will talk about, they will be having a big landscape with SAP and non-SAP systems, right? Not even a single SAP system, multiple SAP systems can be there. Different regions are using their own SAP systems, right? And then you want to generate your global finance reportings. You want to maintain your books globally. That at as a company level with the different systems, how much of profit I am making, how much of loss I am making, in which segment, how much of business I am doing. If that finance consolidations, you need to do it from the different periphery systems, central finance is a product for it. There's a lot of questions which support team can answer. Bhupender, Aman, there are the questions related to the timings. Can you go ahead and start answering the questions? Aman and Bhupender, please go through the Q&A and start answering the question. There are a lot of questions which you guys can answer. Moez is having a very good question. What is the best way to learn business process if we had no chance to work in an operation position, right? So basically, if you are not working in operations, let's say we take an example of sales and distribution you are learning, and you have now worked in the sales and distribution operations, right? If you have worked, your learning would be fast. You would be able to understand the things faster, but you have never worked it. Then you need to put additional efforts. The style and the way of our teaching is anything we explain, we try to first explain the business process. Okay, and then we go into it. If you don't have operation experience, whenever we are explaining any business process, make sure on that day you spend on YouTube, you spend on the internet 1 hour to understand that process much more deeper. Why business do that process? Let's say consignment sales. What is that process? Why business do that? What are the challenges in that? You spend a little bit more efforts to find out the business process, complications, terminologies which is used in that business process. Okay, so we'll be explaining your business process, but I would suggest you also put efforts. So when we discuss about order to cash process, you understand from us, but you also jump into the internet, you watch some videos on YouTube, not SAP, just business order to cash. How does it work? What kind of things happen? What kind of people work on them? What kind of challenges business face? Those kind of extra search and extra efforts will help you to get the business knowledge, even if you have not worked on it. YouTube video with the visualization on end-to-end processes opens up your mind and you would be able to visualize, okay, I saw that, how this is how it happens. That can help you. A lot of content is available, so you need to put a little bit of extra efforts. That is for Moise. Anmol is having a question. Does every production manufacturing plant have its own cost center, or the cost center is a specific to a material type or group? No, generally the different kind of manufacturings will be having their different cost centers. So in one plant, if you're having two different segments, two different manufacturings are there, they would be having their different cost centers. Anmol. Inman has asked in between, what is GR? GR is good receipt. When we receive the goods in our system, we call it as a GR, goods receipt has been done. Vendor has supplied to us, we checked it and we stored in our inventory. That is called good receipt. We have received the goods, good receipt has been done. Imam has another question. What is inventory and storage location? Inventory is the stock. The stock is called inventory. I'm having 5 cups of teas. I'm having these kind of 5 cups, big cups. That is my inventory. My stock is called inventory. Storage location is a physical location where you put your stocks. Okay, I see that the specific questions to the content I have already covered. Now I will start from the top, and now the other generic questions are there. I will try to answer. I would be having somewhere around 20 minutes to answer your generic questions, and then I will spend more time tomorrow to answer your questions. Okay, the first question I have from Vinay. I'm here to learn live session with some practice exercise. Will the same be conducted? This is Vinay after Vinay having 7 years of experience as SAP tester, but I would like to enhance my skill set as a SAP consultant. Okay, got it, Vinay. Vinay, with your profile, we have multiple people who was working into the only the testing, and we have converted them into a consultant, right? So you would be learning the things very fast because you are already working on as a tester. You just need to work on, make sure when you are learning here, you would be having all the explanations. Okay. As I said that 40 hours of live sessions would be there, but there would be some content which you also need to go through the recordings. Okay. One of the part which I would suggest you strongly, Vinay, that we have a job hunt mastery and implementation project exposure. In that part, in implementation project, it's around a 60 hours of big course where I have explained end-to-end implementation, how it happens. In that part, you have done the testing. The one phase you have done the testing. You need to also do that course. It's part of the bundle, implementation project exposure, where you need to also understand what a consultant does in the another phases of the project apart from testing. That is going to help you a lot to project yourself as a consultant and to showcase some end-to-end implementation experience also in your CV. Okay, so whatever you have mentioned, you are at the right place. I'm giving you noted down, Vinay, on somewhere that we are into the January 1st week. I would like you to give the interviews in the month of January, February. By mid-March, you should be giving the interviews as a consultant, as a SAP consultant by putting a profile. If you're not able to achieve that, make sure you ask me during the sessions or you book a one-to-one session with me so that I will be able to guide you that if you're lacking somewhere. But we have all the resources available to help you out with that. Amol is asking, after course completion, is it possible to learn end-to-end implementation project in your institute? So Bhupender and Aman, what I will suggest you just go from down. Okay, from down, whatever the questions you can answer it by typing it. Please type and answer it from down. From top, I am picking it up. Okay. So we have implementation program, Amol. We have an internship program where basically end-to-end implementation has been taught. So I understand end-to-end implementation is very important. That's where people are lagging. They are not able to become a consultant. Any job offering you will open or job positions you will open, they all mention 80% of the jobs has been mentioned that we need one end-to-end implementation, two end-to-end implementation, and there would be the things that you will go join them as a consultant and you will find that you are working as a support. You are not working as an end-to-end implementation, but still they require exposure to end-to-end implementation, right? So end-to-end implementation exposure is very much required. That's where I have created the course. I have put in my heart to the course, SAP Job Hunt Mastery and Implementation Project Exposure, which we have given to you as a self-paced. And I am not charging separately for that. It's part of the bundle, but that course is more than worth a lakh rupees. I can write down on a stamp paper, nowhere in the world that kind of course is available. A lot of people find a success from the SAP Job and Mastery course, implementation exposure. But still, I got the feedback that some students are still not that confident because they have gone through the theory, but they have not been part of the process. So still they are not able to speak with the confidence. But we got a lot of success from that course. Then we said, okay, if this is creating a success, this is making people to work as a consultant, Let's take it to the next level. So we have taken it to the next level, that is the internship programs, where the people who have subscribed the internship programs also, we are not charging anything specifically. People who have subscribed for the mastery bundle, excellence bundle, both, we are giving them chance to also enter into the internship programs. So there basically they enter as a consultant. They sit as a consultant. We give the job, we give the business requirement that this is the business. Here we want to implement SAP, SD, PP, FICO, a web consultant would be there. And then they go through the full process of understanding the business requirement, preparing a questionnaire, as is to be business blueprint, function specification preparation, interaction with another module people, preparing a test scripts, test plan, doing a lot of presentations, preparing a end user documents, training documents, okay, and speaking a lot into the internship program. That gives them the confidence a lot because they are now part of it end to end. It will not be the actual project. Actual project required 12 to 18 months. We do this simulation in 3 months of time so that you get a hint, you get a gist of it that this is how the things need to happen, right? So that is available. Amol, Yogesh. I am data analyst with 6+ years of experience. Is it good to shift career in SAP? If you are data analyst, 6+ years of career, if you are interested in the job profiles which SAP consultant job profiles offers, one of the things in the tomorrow session I would be covering, what are the different kind of people are there in the SAP projects? What a consultant need to do? That also I would be covering in the next session. So Yogesh, if you are interested to become a functional consultant, where basically you would be having a lot of interaction with the business, understanding a particular business processes, having a knowledge on particular domain, and then doing a consulting for that. If you want to go into that, SAP offers a very good career. Okay, you need to understand that which module you need to select it. Okay. We can spend time more if required, Yogesh, to discuss with you. I will give you unmute access tomorrow and we'll discuss that actually what kind of module you should select. Amol has a question. I have experience in domain chemical production experience and only how I will transfer to consultant without experience. I have experience in domain chemical production experience. Amol, I think the internship program which I have answered you, that is the answer for you. The internship program will be giving you experience, but never consider yourself without experience. The domain experience which you have in chemical production, if you will go as a SAP PP, that domain experience helps you a lot to do the consulting. So don't consider you don't have experience. First you give value to your experience, you have experience. Okay, in SAP consulting, domain knowledge matters a lot. So that knowledge you have, business process knowledge you have. You need to add in the SAP knowledge that we will help you out. And with the internship programs, you would be able to convert. One of the session I will be taking, and it's also available in SAP Job and Mastery, that guides you that how your existing experience, your existing domain experience, how you can mold it. We don't call it as a fake because fake is you have not worked in a company and you're showing the experience. Manipulated experience, you need to put it. The manipulated experience is the work which you are doing right now will be adding the SAP into it. We'll be adding the SAP into it. And there are a lot of tips and tricks you can use it to do that. That is, I always say that, your CV is not the thing which should show what you have done. No. CV is the thing which shows what you could do, what you would do if the opportunity is given. So that manipulations need to happen in your CV. That would be guided in SAP Job and Mastery. Chong Me, I have a degree consulting, I have a degree accounting, no consulting experience and 5 years of SAP accounts payable end user. I recently attended an interview for SAP consultant. The interview said I know full cycle experience in SAP project. So he recommended I go for analyst first instead of going consultant. Do sir know what is the difference role work as an analyst and consultant in SAP project? Is it okay to be analyst instead of consultant? And what is the meaning of full cycle in SAP project? full cycle in SAP project, I am keep on talking about me, right? That SAP job and mastery and implementation project exposure. So that course, which is a complementary course with your mastery, would be giving exposure to full end-to-end implementation cycle. That in a project as a consultant, what you would be doing it in different phases, what you would be doing, what would be your activities apart from the module knowledge that also is required. That what kind of documentation you need to prepare, in which phase, what kind of things you would be working on, that knowledge is required, right? That you would be getting it from the job and mastery and implementation project exposure product, which we have a part of the mastery bundle, right? And if you can also jump into the internship program, you will be able to actually sit in a project to deliver a project. Then you will be knowing everything. You will be preparing all these documents with your hand, function specification, business blueprints, as is to be, everything you will be doing in your hand. So Chongmi, I will strongly suggest you to go for the internship program. Write it to support team, support@sastrageek.com. They will guide you how you can enroll for an internship program, right? And I don't suggest you to go for analyst. In very few, basically, if I will ask, I will tell you, right? SAP functional consultants are 80% analyst only when they are working on an implementation project. You work as analyst. Who is analyst? Analyst is the bridge who covers between the business and business between the technical. Okay. Functional consultant also covers the same thing. They cover a bridge between the business and the technical. Technical is your ABAP team, right? So SAP functional consultants in implementation project, they work as a analyst only. I have seen very few projects where basically the analyst was available. Then functional consultants are there. Analyst would be kind of your super user who know SAP and uh, who also know the business part of it, and they would be giving the requirement to the functional consultants. Okay, I would suggest you go through the full SAP our internship program, learn FICO as a consultant, and then you can pitch directly for the consultant roles because you already have a domain experience of 5 years. And you have SAP account payable knowledge, so we just need to tweak, fine tune little bit with putting little bit of efforts, and then you will be able to work as a consultant. Is success factor and the workday are competitors, but they both provide a similar kind of functionalities. Megha has a question. I am into SAP IBP now. I am interested to learn MM and PP, S4 HANA, and new to S4. I am confused which module to start with. Okay, you are into the IBP now. So if you are into the IBP, you can learn PP, production planning, because production planning has a lot of planning included into it. And IBP is also planning tool. So you can start with SAP S4 HANA PP Mega. That will I suggest you. Brijesh is having a question. Little doubt the inventory management inside the SAP MM or a separate module. Inventory management is part of SAP MM, Brijesh. Pablo is asking how someone without experience usually gets into the first job. So basically now there's a two things into it. Without experience means you don't have any experience at all, or without SAP experience, where basically you have a domain experience and then you don't have SAP experience. Pablo, Pablo, if you can clarify, what do you mean by without experience? I won't be able to answer that question exactly. What is difference between HANA and S4 HANA? So me, S4 HANA is a S4 HANA is a application and HANA is a database. That is the difference. Arvind, having 17 plus years of experience in logistics, warehouse, transportation, FG dispatch, wanted to switch to SAP consultant and the business analyst. Please need your support and guidance in this part. Logistics, warehousing, transportation, FG dispatch. Okay. Arvind, I will suggest you two modules. First, you go for SAP SD Mastery, and then from SD Mastery, you jump to SAP TM because you also have experience into the transportations, right? So SD plus TM, two, you do it because you are having 17 plus years of experience. So to cover that experience, we need more knowledge, more modules. So SD plus TM is the modules for you, Arvind. So retail work, if you're coming it from the retail work, okay, you still can start your retail experience, whatever you are having, that can be converted. We'll try to get it converted into the SAP. Okay, so make sure, Pablo, you do the internship program. With internship program, at least you would be able to have a 6 month of internship experience, right? So that will help you to start the first job. Data migration, Imam, SAP DS, CPI DS, MC. Now I want to work as a function consultant, but not sure which module to pick. So within the data migration, Imam, if you have worked on any specific business function, if you have migrated the data for the procurement, purchase order, master data, material master, customer, vendor. So I need to know that which kind of data you have migrated, right? Based on that, you can select your module. If you are not able to find any specific module, then there are the two modules we suggest. Either SAP MM, sourcing and procurement, or SAP SD. You can select any one of them. Okay, SAP MM, sourcing and procurement, or SAP SD. Any one module you can select because these two modules are little easy to understand. The business terminologies and business processes are little easy to imagine by anyone or to learn by anyone. Okay, so you can select one of these modules. If you are still not sure, you can go for SAP SD. ABAPer, which functional module complement ABAP experience? So within the ABAP, Anup, you need to find it out that what kind of requirements you have worked. Whichever the module related requirements you have worked more, that module you would be having already a little bit of knowledge. So select that module. I have a big question from Dilip. Sorry, my throat is still bad. Dilip Kumar Sahu from Odisha, degree in mechanical engineer. Due to preparation commitments, it was gap in my career. I secured an opportunity through a third-party vendor as a mechanical supervisor. Subsequently, in February 2000, I relocated to Bangalore to prepare for SAP MM after securing a position in April 2023. Unfortunately, I was laid off from Sonata Software after 4 months, realizing my knowledge gap in the industry. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and click on bell icon to update yourself with latest SAP videos. Despite lacking direct SAP experience and having gaps in my career, I am eager to transition SAP MM consultant. Dilip, you are also one of the people mechanical When you were working as a mechanical supervisor, it was a production supervisor or what role it was? If you can let me know, I will answer it further. I can also give you access to unmute yourself if you require.
Hello,
Yeah.
sir. Good morning.
Go ahead, Dilip.
Oh, sir, it was maintenance supervisor.
And how many months you have worked?
Sir, only 5 months.
Only 5 months. And why you selected MM?
Sir, one of my friend is worked over in SAP SD, and she relate me like you are more knowledge in mechanical. That's you can choose material management.
M for mechanical, M for materials management. That logic sounds good, huh? Okay. Okay. So if you have came to me earlier with the 5 months of experience, I might have asked you to go for SAP PM first, plant maintenance first, before going to MM. But whatever you have started, I don't want to get the things redo for you. You do and go through SAP MM mastering. Okay. Make sure that also take participate in the internship program, because right now you are not working. You would be able to give more efforts through the internship program. And after learning MM, the second module, I will suggest you PM, plant maintenance. MM and PM combination works well, and that will also support your experience, which you have gained for 5 months in PM. Okay. Another thing, Dilip, you need to work on. We are into the progress in our current employees. Also, we are giving them the communication training. Right now, you are not working, so I would expect you would be having a lot of bandwidth available. Make sure you also work on your communication.
Okay,
The
sir.
SAP in the SAP industry, the communication is also the another thing which has been rated very high. You should be having a good communication, and whether you work in SAP or not, whether you work in any place, communication always helps you, right? So make sure by the time you're working with Sastrageek on SAP MM, I also want you to work on your communication skills. Okay. With that two combination with internship program, you would be able to make a difference, but make sure you are ready to put a lot of efforts.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sunil, I have worked as a SAP ABAP and for 5 years. I have a gap of 7 years now. What is a module to start now? In USA, I see only functional consultant got more demand than technical. I want to learn functional module. I do not have any domain knowledge before. Sunil, where are you? Can you raise your hand, Sunil? I will give you the unmute access.
Hi, Parminder.
Sunil, in your ABAP experience, what kind of things you have done? Means what kind of modules you have worked on?
The thing is, I was working for only for one client, that is client Nestle, that is only process-oriented kind of work. I don't have any got opportunity to work on the technical side like reporting or anything. So just for the configuration part, I was working on.
What do you mean process side of it? Means what exactly you was doing?
So they do have like already the Z reports and everything. So based on that we used to configure like this is like idoc kind of thing, idoc.
iDocs you have worked on?
Yes, yearly idoc.
Yearly iDocs. So that iDocs was for the purchase orders, was for the sales order, master data. Which
Yeah,
object?
master data,
Master data iDocs.
master data and transactional data.
Okay. It was a material master, customer master, vendor master. Do you remember anything?
So we have all modules in that, like mostly we have material management, SD, and it was a big architecture. Nestle is a big architecture, so we have lots of modules. But in the starting, I was not aware of all those modules. After that, so I got a gap. So it's like I was a fresher again in the market. So
And you are in US, right?
yeah, I came for the masters here. So I completed my master's. So while I was searching for an SAP ABAP or something, so it's very difficult to getting the job here again.
So what I would suggest you go for SAP SD because you have a
Yeah.
little bit of knowledge while working onto the ABAP for SD.
Mhm.
So you go for SAP SD. And after
Okay.
SAP SD, we need to work on the one more module for you because US market is more competitive market. Only single module might not be able to help.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, but SD would be a good start. Even with SD, you would be able to get a job. I'm not saying you will not be able to. What we would
Okay.
be doing, your 5 years of ABAP and BW experience will get it
Mhm.
converted into the SAP SD experience. We cannot do anything for the gap, but we'll
Okay.
say that you have already worked 5 years in SAP SD. With this
Okay.
experience, which will be, make sure you also take the internship program so that you
Okay.
get the implementation exposure. So we'll try that your ABAP experience can be converted into the SAP SD. And with that 5 years of experience, then there's a high chance with SAP SD itself, you will be able to get a job. But if
Okay.
that you are not getting, then we need to work on one more module.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
So what is the course that I need to take up in this bundle? So like SAP
Yeah, so you need to go for SAP SD Mastery Bundle. Uh,
Master. Okay.
SAP SD Mastery Bundle you need to take.
Okay. Thank you.
What about market in Australia and New Zealand? There are some modules which has a market in all of the countries, irrespective of the countries. Those modules are the biggest module which has requirement every place is FICO, Finance and Controlling. I have not seen any implementation in my 20 years or roughly 20 years of career, where basically SAP SD, PP modules are there, but FICO is not there. FICO is mandatory. All companies, they might not be having SD, PP, but FICO would be there. So FICO is the most demanding module, but it also requires a lot of in-depth knowledge on the FICO also, right? Then after FICO, the next two modules which will be there, that is SD and MM. Okay, SD and MM is a versatile module. All industry, whether they are manufacturing or not, they do buy, they do sell. Then SDMM module comes into the picture. And wherever we have manufacturing, PP comes into the picture. So MM would be having a very decent, good market in New Zealand and Australia. But overall, Australia market is not doing very well. It's not about MM. It's not about SAP. Overall, Australia market in the last 1 year has a lot of hiccups. I have few people which I'm consulting one-to-one to them. Australia lost the jobs, get trained with us, and now again was able to resecure their job in Australia market. So last 1.5 year was a tough for Australia New Zealand market. It's not about MM, but the overall market is down in Australia and New Zealand. So in Australia, New Zealand, if you're working, you need to do SAP MM. Make sure you complement MM either with Ariba or EWM. Okay, because the market is more competent because of 1.5 year of low market which Australia and New Zealand has seen. Okay, with that, I have answered all of the questions and I also need to jump into another call. If you have still your generic questions pending, tomorrow session, I will take it till 10 o'clock, but we'll be having a 2 hours of content till 8:30. I would be covering the content. Then from 8:30 to 10, 1.5 hours, if you have any kind of generic questions related to career or other things, I would be happy to answer them. Okay. Last two questions. This will be the last two questions before I jump out. I'm working in Kuwait from Azharuddin in Hyundai are using KCS working as end user and interested in MM. Which course I need to enroll? You need to enroll for SAP MM Mastery, Sourcing and Procurement Mastery course, Muhammad. Sameer, I'm having 30 years of experience in that 2 years experience in SAP PP. I want to learn BAPI, BADI, basics debugging, IDOC, which bundle I need to take it. So you go for SAP ABAP for functional consultants. That is one of the course. And then there is one more course is there for the specific to the enhancements. Or if you have taken any course from us, Sameer, you will be having one step-up circles. In the step-up circles, I have covered a little bit technical part on the BAPIs and BADIs. And the job and mastery also have that content. So you need to go and pick up your selective contents. So the two courses which you can go through, job and mastery first, and then second is step-up circle. Third is SAP ABAP for functional consultant. Not to do all of the courses, but just go into that courses and pick it up what you need it and do it. Shiva, what about SAP FICO in Germany? FICO is booming in all the countries without a question. Without a question. As I said, FICO is the most versatile module, most used module. But if you want to become a FICO consultant, the efforts are more compared to the another because FICO is expected to have more deeper knowledge. Because many times the discussions when it comes to finance, in discussion, very senior people come. Your directors, VPs also will come in the discussion. So you need to be strong in the subject. Okay, with that, I have answered all of the questions. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll walk on to the specific area which I have already explained. And last 1 hour we'll be spending on to answering your questions. Okay. Thank you for joining today and we'll catch you back tomorrow in the session number 2. Goodbye for now. Have a good day ahead.